I'm Lauren with Pack Hacker, and in this video we're taking a detailed look at the Bellroy Lite Travel Pack, which I've been testing for the last week. Let's dive in. You can probably tell a little bit by the design, but this is part of Bellroy's Lite line. If you can't tell by the design, you can definitely tell by the name. But they joke that this is kind of their most like travel backpacky looking travel backpack, and I would definitely agree. It has a lot of the like visual markers of a classic travel backpack between its like really square shape, a lot of the organization on the inside, the outside access pockets, and we'll get into all of that. But for a quick look, a closer look at the materials, like I said, it is part of their Bellroy line, and this is actually a super lightweight bag. So this is the 30-liter option, and this is just under a kilogram, which would be like roughly 2 pounds. And then the 38-liter option is obviously a little bit bigger, and that's going to be pretty much like a kilogram on the dot, which is about like 2.2 pounds. So in terms of lightweight travel bags, this is definitely towards the top of the list, and it does have a lot of features that I think make it a really functional, great travel pack. So looking at the outside here, we have some attachment points where if you wanted to attach, like use like carabiners to attach, I don't know, like a travel pillow or something like a little packable blanket or something like that to be used on the plane, then you can do that. Otherwise, they stay nice and tucked out of the way. I don't really even notice that they're there, so that's nice. And then we have some YKK zippers all around here. These are all like that reverse coil AquaGuard style, so has some decent weatherproofing to it. And then all of the zipper pulls are like a little paracord with heat shrink, kind of like a Hypalon feeling material on the very end of them. So very easy to grab, open. All of the zippers feel really nice and smooth and functional. We have a top carry handle here and then one on the side. The side one's great if you want to use the luggage pass-through, which we'll get to, but it does have a little bit of like reinforcement here to give the bag, it gives it a little bit of structure on the inside, but it also makes it so that because of these lightweight materials, the bag's not just like flopping all over the place. And you can also see that there's some Bartech stitching here, and that's basically the width of like that little kind of stiffer insert. You can kind of see that insert if I go like this. And that's just giving it a really secure attachment point. So between these two, the handles don't like tuck super far out of the way. You can see they kind of pop up on either side, but I don't really feel like it's that big of a deal for me personally. Aesthetically, I think this just has a pretty nice, sleek, subtle look to it. The harness system is simple as well. You can see we've just got 2 carry straps and then a sternum strap. There's nowhere to attach like a hip belt or anything like this. There are these little attachment points down here, and that is for if you want to take these straps off, you can put them in the like back panel, which I'll do in a second. But with the sternum strap, it's just like a little easy clip here, which just goes to like one side. It does slide out of that adjustment pretty easily, you can see, but once it's like tight actually like on your body, I don't notice that it slips out of place. You can see it's like mostly when it has a lot of slack on the underside that it starts to slip, so it functions well to take some of the weight off your back. We also have these straps here that this is like a decent amount of mesh. I mean, it's like a couple like an inch or two, I would say maybe. And the mesh here matches the mesh here. It does feel very airy, so I think that that's very nice. And then the straps attach up at the top, and then like I said, you can just stick them into this back panel. So if you need to check the bag, or if you want to use it on your rolling luggage, you can. So there is a luggage pass-through for if you wanted to plop it on top. And then that is where this carry handle is, and then you can still get to this front pocket, which is pretty nice and convenient. But the carry comfort is actually surprisingly comfortable, which I'll get into in a second, but the curvature of these straps definitely work for some of us on the team better than others. So let's talk about that. So this is the bag when it's actually on my body. You can see that this is, like I said, the 30-liter, definitely a better size for if you have a shorter torso or if you just carry less items. Sizing up to the 38 is definitely a better idea if you wanted to carry more things. But it comes down to a very nice spot on my back. It's like my kind of lower back, the bottom of my spine. And then with the straps themselves, kind of showing you here, they fall very nicely on me personally. Me and Christine, obviously on the team, have more like narrow torsos, but with like Ahmad and Eric, they tried the bag on, and for them it just felt like this got a little too narrow too quickly with these shoulder straps. And that is something that they've noticed with Bellroy bags as well. Just when they taper down too quickly, it can start to feel too narrow on their torso. For me and Christine, however, we do find that that's a little bit more comfortable, because then they're not like thick down here, like sometimes our like arms will rub against it. It also can feel a little bit top heavy. You can see that the bag doesn't sit super high, but it's not very uncomfortable. At least with this sternum strap, it does help pull some of the weight forward, and a hip belt would have probably helped with that a little bit more. But because the bag is so lightweight in general, I don't really feel like it's missing much. It is just pretty comfortable. If you're finding this video helpful, hit subscribe so we can keep making content to help you travel smarter. But for now, let's look at the compartments on the outside of the bag. So I'm going to start with this back laptop compartment. You can see it's super hidden. There's like a little fabric gusset here that covers the zipper. This is not it's a reverse coil zipper, but it's not AquaGuard. So it does have a self-locking zipper, or a zipper pull, so you're not going to be able to open the zipper when it's like down in that position. But this does fit up to a 16-inch laptop. It does have a bit of a false bottom as well. It's not the most like beefy false bottom we've tested. I would say it's like maybe an inch or so down there. But there is a decent, it's a very flexible back panel, but it is a back panel, and then there's a little bit of padding on the inside as well. So I feel like my laptop is safe and secure. Don't remember if I mentioned, but it does fit up to a 16-inch laptop. So, you know, it does feel pretty significant, pretty roomy, and it doesn't really feel like me putting my laptop in here becomes the back panel, because it does have it's kind of like it feels like a little plastic frame sheet type of a thing. We also have attachment points. Where is this? The one up here, if you wanted to attach things as well. I don't think there's one on the other side. No, there's not. So then with other pockets, we have this one, which I mentioned, if you have it on, if you have this trolley sleeve or luggage pass-through engaged, then you have this pocket here, also not AquaGuard, but is reverse coil, which just kind of gives it a subtle look. But this is a pretty beefy pocket. You can see that a lot of both pockets here have a lot of independent storage, which means that if you put lumpier items in here, it can start to look a little lumpy on the outside. But I think overall, Bellroy did a really good job just sort of giving you a lot of space without making the bag look really weird. And here, this pocket is so large, this is a great spot for an extra layer, or any items you don't need super often. So you can see basically this entire panel here is all of the space that you get, and it does pack out pretty far. That's a pretty roomy pocket in there. So in there, I've also put things like a hat, accessories, big items that I want access to on the plane, but I would say a big layer or a packable jacket is probably going to be your best bet, because those are items you're going to want to get to relatively quick. Up here is their top little quick grab pocket. So this one unzips pretty far, and that pocket down there has these gussets down at the bottom to give you a ton of extra packing space. And the inside of this pocket is pretty simple. So in here, there's not extra organization or anything. So I have my phone, I have my AirPods, I have my wallet, and I have my keys on a key leash that's attached to a little paracord kind of material just at the edge of this pocket. And that was pretty much everything that I would put in this pocket. There's also a pen slot, which I never really need, but it is there if you want it. And then a spot for a passport. So that's a nice little sleeve there. If you don't put your passport there, you could definitely put your wallet, oops, almost dropped those, and AirPods to keep them a little bit separate. So it's kind of up to you what you want to use the organization for, but I kind of like that they didn't over organize this pocket. I just don't find myself using admin panels very much, so when they usually give me a ton of individual pocket storage, I find that I don't really use it a ton. But I do feel like there's a lot of space in here if you want to put a Kindle or something like that. But between phone, wallet, keys, AirPods, passport, really that type of an item, maybe a snack or two, a pair of sunglasses, that's mostly what I would want to put in this pocket, and all of those items fit really well with some room to spare. All right, so into the main compartment we go. We have just one zippered opening. You can see it's that's that front pocket. This is the actual main compartment, and it does have a dual zipper, so you can put this anywhere you want on the track and open from there. But opening into this actual compartment, you can see that there's a lot of built-in organization, which I personally really like. I think a lot of bags will just give you an open bucket shape, and you just kind of use packing cubes to sort of pack as you please. And I think that that's functional if you like using packing cubes. but to have the option to have a big bucket shape and to have it completely zippered up is really nice. I know like Cotopaxi has, like the Alpa will have something similar. So it's not something we've never seen, but I do think that Bellroy did a really good job here. So opening this up, you can see that I've got a bunch of different stuff in here, mainly like pairs of pants. This is a pair of 11s, size 11 men's shoe to kind of give you an idea of scale. I would say a size 12 might be a little bit too tight for this, but in my personal opinion, I would be putting like a pair of like sandals or something in here and like a shoe pouch, and those would pack down a little bit better than this pair of shoes, but you can technically fit an extra pair in here. It's just going to cut into the space a bit. Anyway, looking at this big bucket shape, I've got a tech pouch here. It's very flat, so it doesn't take up a ton of space. But then I also have my toiletries. So toiletries, you could put these in a couple different places. If you have like pre-check and you don't have to take your liquids out, then you don't really need to worry about it. In this case, you could take this out and put it either in this front compartment, or it does actually fit. Like if I thought I was gonna have to take them out through security, I would probably just put them in here, grab them quickly, put it through, and then like put it into the actual main compartment once I got through security, because sometimes I'll do that, I'll rearrange after. Sort of up to you what you're feeling. Obviously, your mileage will vary based off of like the pouches that you have, but that's really the disadvantage about this, is because everything's so sectioned off, you can't just like reach in and grab something really quickly. You kind of have to leave like a gap with this zipper up top to be able to get to it, in addition to, you know, closing the bag. But anyway, here you can see, so I've got a big pair of shoes, I have a pair of jeans, a pair of sweatpants. This is like a long sleeve like bathing suit cover up type dress thing, and then a pair of shorts on the side here. So I have two pairs of like everyday pants, pair of sweatpants, and then like one full outfit. And then on this side here, I have my tops. We'll get into that in a second. But basically, when I take all of this stuff out, you can see that you have a really good, like decent sized bucket shape. These are like the pants when they're all rolled up. The jeans definitely roll up a lot like smaller than some pairs of jeans, and depending on the size and the thickness, like it's gonna be a little bit more or less. But even when you can see like the shoe comes up a little bit above, even with that, I was still able to close this mesh pocket and get this closed completely and zip it all up and not have any problems with it feeling like overstuffed. Obviously, the more you put in here, the more it's gonna weigh, that type of a thing, but it did feel like, because the materials are more flexible and lightweight, I was able to kind of overstuff the bag a little bit more and get like more out of it, out of the capacity, I guess. It felt roomy for a 30-liter bag, which is really what I'm trying to say. On the other side here is where we have like two pockets. We have the mesh pocket here, which opens like on one side. And here is where I have, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tops, another top here, and then this is like a pajama shirt. So I don't know, I can't count. But for the most part, like you can get a decent amount of clothing in here, or you can use this for pouches or tech kits or any extra gear that you want. So you do have some freedom in how you use these kind of cubes, I guess you could say, but I like that the built-in organization just feels very smart and very functional versus limiting. Because sometimes these pockets on this side will be very flat, but in this case, they're not flat, they have their own capacity, and so you can really like load them out with stuff and still get the bag closed. And because of the independent storage for these two pockets on the front, nothing's cutting into each other, which is nice. Then there's this top pocket here, which is really just designed for like smaller items. You can put, you know, small accessories or tech in here or whatever you want, but it does have just like a top zipper opening, and this opens nice and wide, so it kind of packs in like a bucket, just like the top zippered design there is nice. And I put like socks and underwear in here so that they stay kind of tucked out of the way, but I can fit like, that's only 3 pairs of socks. I would say I could easily fit 6 in there, plus having room on top for like underwear or something like that. I've also put like, you know, like some extra layers, like a hat or gloves or something in there too. So you do have a lot of flexibility with the storage. It's very simple kind of across the board, but I think it does that very well. You can sort of use cubes and pouches to whatever preference you have, but you still have these options here that are very functional without being limiting. So I think they did a very solid job kind of getting the design on this all around. So there you have it, the Bellroy Lite Travel Pack. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.